This is example 15, exercise, or example B, 15B. Okay, so what we're doing here is exactly the same thing. We want to calculate without a calculator. What you notice is that none of these angles are very friendly to us. So what we're going to do is, the first thing is you're going to go into your cost diagram and figure out where is everyone. Okay, so that 173 is going to be where? 173 is less than 180. So that's in the second quadrant. Okay, 7 degrees is definitely in our first quadrant. Okay, next up we have minus 66. So that's less than 90. That's going to be in quadrant number 4. 180 degrees is more than 190 is more than 180. So we're dealing with all 4 quadrants here. Okay, 66 degrees is in quadrant number 1. And then 350 is less than 360. That is quadrant number 4. Knowing where everyone is helps us to identify who's positive and who's negative. In the yellow quadrant, sine is positive, so cos is negative. But cos squared is positive. So this is negative squared, which means it becomes positive because it's cos squared due to that square. Sine squared is positive, so, and besides the fact that it's in our all quadrant. At the bottom we have blue. In the blue quadrant, cos is positive, so sine is negative. Orange tan is positive, so cosine is negative. Next one, cosine is positive because all is positive. And in the blue, cos is positive, sine is negative. Okay, so now we know where everybody lives and we know what their signs will become. We can reduce. Let's go ahead and reduce. So cos squared 173 is going to be 180 minus 173, which gives us 7 degrees. We have cos squared of 7 degrees minus sine squared of 7 degrees. Whew, that already looks very, very, very promising. Okay, let me go back. You could skip this step, but I'm gonna write it out. So this is cos squared 180 degrees minus 7 degrees. And then this one is minus sine of 7 degrees, sine squared. We don't do anything there. Okay. Denominator, minus 66 degrees. Okay, so what happens here? Remember, we want to have that angle. That's negative 66 degrees. And what is that going to be on our calculator? So we know that this is going to be a 360 degree angle, right? And so this is going to be sine 360 degree. And we know that if we do this, it's actually the angle from here all the way around on that side. So I'm actually going to say 366 minus 66 degrees. And what I'm left with is 294. So going around is going to give me minus 360 minus 294 degrees. Let's think about that. Wait. Actually, no. We want the answer to be 294. So we're going to say minus 66 equals 294. On our next one, we're going to say cosine of 190 is going to be 180 plus 10. That gives me 190. And minus cos of 66 degrees. That one is already an acute angle. It's already in the pink quadrant. So I'm leaving it alone. And then sine of 360. So remember, my upper line on the calculator must equal the bottom one. So what are we going to say? We're going to say 360 degrees minus 350 gives us 10. So we're saying 360 minus 10 degrees gives us 350. So sine of 360 minus 10. That's what we're at right now. Okay. Now we're going to drop all of our 180s and 360s. We have cos squared 7 minus sine squared 7 divided by sine 66 cos 10 minus cos 66 sine 10. Having said it like that, you already hear a pattern. Don't forget, the most important thing is your signs. So let's go back and do the signs. Back to the beginning. Squared is always positive. Squared is always positive. Blue one at the bottom is negative. Orange is negative. Purple is positive. And blue is negative. Because of the signs, I'm going to put everything in brackets. And then we multiply the signs out. So we have cos squared 7 minus sine squared 7 divided by minus and minus is plus. Sine 66 cos 66. No, sine 66 cos 10 minus and minus make plus. So that's plus cos 66 sine 10. If you are happy with that, we can proceed. On our numerator, you have cos squared 7 minus sine squared 7. That becomes cos of 2a. And our denominator is going to be sine 66. Okay, so if I read it without the angles, I've got sine cos cos sine. Sine cos cos sine, that's not a double angle, that is a compound angle, and that gives me a sine angle where the addition stays sine, the sine on sine stays the same, and we have sine 66 plus sine 10. I hope that you are in agreement with me. Oh, I put a on the top. Let's change that a to 2 times 7. Okay, let's simplify this. This becomes cos of 14 degrees divided by sine of 76 degrees. Do you agree with me? Okay, are you finished? Well, let's see. What's the relationship between 76 and 14? So if I said 14 plus 76, I get 90 degrees. Whenever I get close to 90 degrees, I know I can now do what we call a cofunction. So because those two equal 90 degrees, I can do a cofunction. And you can choose which one you want to do. So you can do one of both. So either you're going to say, keep cos the same on the top, or you can say, keep sine the same at the bottom. Both of them are possible. And then what happens is, with a cofunction, you basically do the opposite number. So if we're going to keep cos, then we want to change sine to 14. It ends up being sine of 14 degrees. And remember, both of these are acute. They're both in quadrant number 1. So since they're in quadrant number 1, they are both positive. So cos 14 cos 14, or sine 76 over sine 76. Both of them are correct, and that gives you an answer of 1. This entire thing is equal to 1. Really hope that made sense.